this instance didn't have to announce themselves. Do you think that as a result of all of that we have seen in this case and others, there will be major changes in policing because of cases like this?
That's the hope. And that certainly is what even some federal legislators are considering now. The hope is with all of this that's being brought to light, this trial included, that, not only legislatures, but people in general understand the immense need for some kind of transformative change in policing. And maybe that means, eliminating things like no knock announce. Or no knock announcements and entries, or chokeholds like the carotid restraint, things like that, which have shown to be of a great risk to somebody's health and life.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point, when the attorney for the family was mentioning that this was a longstanding practice of the police. It's a fine line. The city announced the $27 million settlement with the estate of George Floyd. And it occurred to me that that could cut both ways, because if Chauvin's going to claim that this is the way that he was trained, it's more of a police department problem than a Derek Chauvin problem. Do you think that that's a potential problem for the prosecution?
That will certainly be what the defense, or I'll say that's the drumbeat that the defense is making right now. That this is part of his training. It was exactly what he was trained to do. But I think that is going to fall on deaf ears when you get to some police practices experts and you really get to show post guidelines to the jury. And what they're going to see is that no one is trained to keep a knee on someone's neck if there's no type of violence or aggression being shown towards them. And albeit that that's what the defense wants to argue, that Floyd was violently resisting. I mean, I think we all can see with our eyes that there's not really any violent resistance that's going on there, and there's no need to then have him held in that position.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The defense is also going to argue cause of death. Anjanette Levy did a piece on George Floyd and his arrest a year earlier, part of which is going to get into the trial and evidence of this case. Take a look.